What is going on, you crazy kids? It is Friday. I don't know why she's laughing already, but it's Friday, April 11th. Um, Welcome to Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. We got a lot to talk about. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun show. We got a ton to talk about because as you saw on the thumbnail, maybe if you watch this show on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, I made a thumbnail called Superlame Party, based off the ending of last week's AEW Dynasty. And you guys know me; I'm pretty much a very positive person
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to wrestling. And last week was a letdown. It was just a letdown. So I'm glad that we are here, that we get to talk about this because I've been waiting to talk about this. But as I start every show, Maggie, how you doing?
Hi, Rob. I'm so glad to see you. Uh, besides us talking at length before the show, so uh, if you guys were wondering if I was cracking my ass off right when when we started the show, Rob told me, "Hey, Maggie, you know how it shows an image of us right before our show starts?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's really disturbing." And he was like, "I'm gonna, I'm gonna make this go away." And he just, the logo of our coexisting thing, and I was like, that cracked me up. It's, it's like I expect this to be something magical, and it just,
Yeah, no, like it just came to me. Like I'm like, how the
it,
hell do I stop it? And like I noticed it the other day when I was watching. I think it was, I, I think it was In the Weeds, and I saw that they had a picture up or something before the show started. I'm like, that's it. So
that's it. So we have to say out loud that Joel Pearl is a genius, correct? So like
well,
that hurt a
yeah,
bit.
I assume. Yeah, I
Yeah,
assume that's what it is.
all the love
Um,
to our friend Joel Pearl. He's one of
yeah,
the.
he's heading to Vegas next week.
He's heading to Vegas. I hope Joel Pearl has fun. Not, and so like, do you know what I've been dealing with, Rob? So this is really funny. Um, when I was in my teen years and up to my 28 years of age,
Okay.
I wore baggy jeans. And by baggy jeans, I mean, straight up hip hop jeans, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that was my jam. So at some point, I told myself, it's time for you to grow up and put some big girl pants. And then I started wearing skinny jeans. And it was incredibly hard for me to transition into that because all of a sudden everyone could see the shape of my legs. And that's a huge problem for me. Uh, so it's been years now. Okay. So like 8 years I've worn skinny jeans. And now all of a sudden, me wearing skinny jeans, I look like an old lady because everyone's wearing baggy jeans again. The Gen Z pants, you know?
Uh,
And I'm like, okay, so I have to transition back if I don't want to look like an old lady, who goes around offering apples to beautiful women. No, like that's. And so I had to force myself to put on, baggy jeans again. And I'm like, I look fat. I just look fat. And that's not the case. That's not true. I know that that's not true, but like I think I'm fat in those Gen Z girl pants. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy those, even though I look like a sow. So I just bought the pants and I took them to, what do you call it? Like sewing lady thing.
oh yeah, sewing lady. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't.
sewing lady. Thank you. I just,
Like an ultra shopper. I don't know what they call
yes,
it, but
thank you. Because I'm short and they had to take out this amount of fabric. you know,
geez.
yeah, I'm really short. I'm 5'1".
No, the fact that they had to cut that much pants. What I'm
Yeah,
saying.
because
Yeah.
apparently the new generation of girls or women or whatever you want to call them, they're freakishly tall. How can
Seamstress. That's it. Thank you, Tom.
seamstress? Thank you, Tom. You wonderful,
Or
wonderful.
or Taylor. Or Taylor. Yeah, Taylor.
See, I know all these words. Why
Oh,
don't
I do too. It just doesn't come to me because,
it's
well,
like I know them in Bulgarian, but like here's the stupid thing.
surprised they even have those in Bulgaria.
There you go. There you go. Because Ryan's not in the chat. You're taking his place. Thank you so
Yep.
much. Damn it. Yeah, so they had to tailor those, and I went to work with them today. And I felt really good. It's really weird. I feel like a teenager. I don't look like one, but it's a it's gonna take some getting used to because uh hopefully because summer is coming and I'm gonna be wearing my shirts. Hopefully when autumn comes, they're gonna fit me too. Like still, I'm haven't transitioned, into a skinnier or a, more bulkier, figure. Which, if I keep going, my butt is gonna be huge with, my workouts, and maybe I will not fit into those jeans. But guys, hi, this is a wrestling show.
my question for you is: have you ever
This is
worn
gonna be good,
apple?
right?
Yeah, have you ever worn apple bottom jeans with boots with the
With the
fur,
fur,
and the whole
the
club
whole
was looking
club
at you?
looking at her.
Then you hit the flow.
Is this the third time in a row that you're making a Flow Rider reference in during the show?
Today? No, I don't think
No,
so.
not today.
Oh,
Not
oh, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. What's by the way? What's supple bottom jeans?
I I I need to look it up so I can explain it correctly.
Okay, let me just Google it because, like I said, this is a wrestling show.
Because I can say what it is, but I know like it is not. I would say it different. I would. I want to see this reaction. That's why I'm not talking.
Are
Well,
those apple bottom jeans?
yeah, but so
Okay,
okay,
is this slang?
not really. I would say it is. You know what?
Generally
Somebody
designed for women with full hip.
there you go.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
thank
asking if
you.
I have a big butt. Yes, I
No,
have a big
well,
butt
yeah,
for
okay.
my
That
figure.
was
For yes,
okay.
I do. Like I'm really really short, but I have a huge butt because I work out and my thighs are really thick.
Becky, look at that
Yes,
butt. It is so big.
it's just so
Uh,
round. Okay, guys,
okay.
this is a wrestling show. Thank you so much for joining us. Please leave a like, drop a like, just like the video. Okay,
Yeah, just like it.
just like the video, share it on social media, tell all your friends about us because your friends need to know about us. And please send us your super chat at the bottom of the YouTube live chat, the little dollar sign. Any amount will get your question read live on the air. If you're watching on any other platform, you can send a humper chat at humperchats.com. And it makes us keep a little bit more of the proceeds. So we genuinely, make, encourage people to send us their comments there. We appreciate you a ton. Please subscribe to Fightful Overbooked on YouTube. Please subscribe to the main channel for Fightful on YouTube. Please subscribe to all of our social medias, TikTok, Facebook, the Instagram, of course.
MySpace.
But MySpace, I said no. What do you call it? ICQ.
Oh yeah, ICQ.
Yes,
Send us a
ICQ.
message on AOL Messenger.
Yes, please do that. screw you. I miss MySpace. That was so good.
It was fun.
Yes, it was ridiculously fun. And guys, definitely not least, please subscribe to Fightful Select. The Discord is probably, the Q&As on Discord that Sean does are probably one of the best reasons why you should subscribe to Fightful Select. Also, the Weekender podcast with our friend Steven Jensen, Grapsity, and what did you?
I was just gonna say, like with the Discord, we do the bet online picks.
Oh yes,
you can pretty much make your money back off getting Select right there if you follow the locks. I mean,
I will never forget the fact that someone made a bet online from for World's End last year, the year before.
Yeah.
And they got their money back for New Year's Eve because of, the money they made from a bet. So please bet responsibly, guys.
Yeah, bet responsibly.
Please be responsible and mature, like all of the wrestling fans are.
Don't follow our lead. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, we got 2 super chats. Tom Talks Rubbish says, "What's up?" 2 of my favorite people. What is up, Tom? I hope you were doing well, my friend.
I hope you're doing well, sweetie. I'm fine, just staying alive. That is the best way to put it. Staying alive. I hope you're doing amazing. Better.
Staying alive. Okay. Check out Tom's channel, Tom Talks Rubbish. He has tons of interviews on there. And then we got Doc.
Pay-per-views.
Taylor, I barely knew her. Yeah.
Hello, sweetie. Our friend Chris, the loveliest voice ever. Please stay up until the end of the show for you to listen to the Cooper fact that we got. Special thanks to Chris Mueller. Just one of my, I really wanted to do a Cooper fact on this specific story, and just FYI, a little peek behind the curtain. One of the most beautiful cats I've ever seen. Just stay tuned for the Cooper.
We hurting people. We hurting. The way you said we curtains. You just said hurting, so I was like, we hurt people.
For you, Rocky, curtains.
Yeah. Oh God, Maggie, let's start talking some wrestling. Can you name? There's been times where you watch. Well, yeah, we do. There's been times where you watch a movie and it's so good, and then at the very end, it just ruins. Shit. Yeah. AEW Dynasty.
Kenny said it himself, Dookie.
Yeah, Dookie. I wanted that to be the thumbnail on Wednesday. Dookie, and that got vetoed.
Damn it.
I kind of understand why, but for the Wednesday post show, anyways. But anyways, yeah, Dynasty was a fantastic show, and then all of a sudden, it just went down the crapper. I was not a big fan. Now, granted, I'm glad don't get me wrong. I'm glad the Young Bucks are back, because anytime they get to wrestle, you're gonna get a fun match. Absolutely. Like that's for sure. However, that's 2 pay-per-views in a row, or no more, in my opinion, 3 pay-per-views. Well, okay, I'll say 2 for sure. The last 2 pay-per-view endings just were letdowns. Just complete letdowns. I really thought, and we both predicted it last week, we both thought Swerve was going to win this title because it made the most sense. But he did not win the title.
Well, if you remember, I picked Moxley.
Oh, you're right. You did change you did. Now that you said that, I remember. But yeah, I just didn't get it. I was surprised and shocked, but by it. I just thought they were going to go that route because it made the most sense. And I guess they must have a long they must have a plan. I hope. I swear, I hope they have a plan, because right now it's just not for me. It hasn't been for me. I'm curious. What was your reaction?
Let me just answer Kate, because Kate's in the chat from the Main Fightful channel. Yes, so sperm graphics are okay. The Orton thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
post
Orton
it
thing.
here.
Yeah. So sperm graphics are okay, but Dookie isn't. So
Yeah.
priorities,
Well,
I guess.
yeah,
Uh,
I think so. I
yes.
think
So,
mainly because they're sponsors for that show. I
mm, so the reason why I picked Moxley to win that match, um, was because I was challenging the universe. But what I didn't want to happen is for me to be right. But the the truth is, I can definitely I could see it, Moxley retaining. And it did happen. So boo. Uh there's a lot of controversy online that they're trying to view this specific storyline as we used to view the bloodline story. But there's a huge thing that's missing there. And that is the fact that all the people from the bloodline had incredible fully developed characters. Everyone had a place and everyone had a story behind them in the bloodline. This isn't the case with the Death Riders, because none of the people besides Moxley have any character depth whatsoever. And this is me protesting this, because I've been incredibly vocal on our show that I'm incredibly in love with Cesaro/Claudio the wrestler.
Mhm.
Uh, incredibly behind the guy. And Pac, like, the only person which I think is benefiting from all of this is Wheeler Yuta. And that's, mildly, because
Yeah.
I can definitely see him having a match against Brian Danielson, because um after they put an end to Brian Danielson's in-ring career, um Yuta just adopted the Busaiko knee, and he's finishing matches that way. And I can definitely see a future with Brian Danielson and Wheeler Yuta. I can see that. uh but like, they all of their power towards um the evolution of this entire storyline slash group is entirely centered around the non-existing titles, because they're not showing them whatsoever, and the fact that Moxley cannot get the job done on his own,
Yeah.
nor the trio of Claudio, Pac, and Yuta. Every time someone from that group has a match, the other, gets involved, which is the bloodline aspect of the thing. But they're absolutely not seeing the case that everyone in the bloodline had a purpose and they had a backstory. And without a specific person in the bloodline, the bloodline would not be the same. And this isn't the case with the Death Riders, because by this point, I can replace anyone from the Death Riders with another randomly picked wrestler from the roster. And again, I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm saying this with all the love and passion in the world, because I desperately needed this faction to work. I said this on our last week's show, or the one previously, before that. the Death Rider story had all the fucking potential in the world. The way that they started to be a thing was by trying to commit murder in the ring.
Yeah.
Look me in the eye and tell me that's not cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't care if it was your favorite wrestler. I love Bryan Danielson. And I suppose that this was their goal, to make this into an extremely unstoppable force. And they did not do that. So what happened was the lights went out just as soon as we thought that Swerve was winning the match, because Hangman came out and we were like, there you go. He's gonna be torn who to attack, whether it be Moxley or Swerve or whatever. And then he decided to target Moxley, and then the Death Riders got involved, and then the Ops came. It was a mess there for a while, and then the Ops came out, and then they started brawling with the Death Riders to the back, and I'm like, there you go, that's it. And then the lights went out. And all of a sudden, my logical brain thought that this was Keith Lee, because that was logically the only person in my mind to be in the way of, Swerve losing. And then it was the Young Bucks. Okay, listen to me. I want you to take everything that I'm about to say, having in mind that I am probably one of the biggest Young Bucks fans. I'm not even kidding. I'm a huge Elite girl. I fucking hate this. Because it makes no sense. So they gave Swerve the VVP trigger, and then Moxley just went out and won the match. So what happened was that on this week's Dynamite, Moxley beat Shibata extremely quickly, and then Young Bucks came out. And I'm like, okay, there you go, context. Give me an explanation as to why everything happened. And then Moxley just left the ring, and he's like, fuck that. Yeah. And then he went home. And the Young Bucks were like, well, we were hoping that Moxley joined us in the ring for this. But everything that we did was for our friend Hangman. We did that for you because we're still friends. And I'm like, you shooed the guy out of the Elite, and then you took him on your team at Blood and Guts just because you wanted someone to fight against Swerve. And there was no furthering of the storyline there. They just flat out came back and said that I did it for the hanger.
I want to address this comment from Clown. He might make a good point here. Does the link of the AEW pay-per-views make it even worse and more glaring rather, when the ending falls flat? Falls flat, man. I think, yeah, to a big extent.
The length of AEW pay-per-views is a huge problem at itself. If the finish is crappy, I'm not gonna give a crap if it's 3 hours or 6 hours. I'm gonna hate the end nonetheless. But yes, it does.
Thank you. Jay Uso joined the show. Thank you for joining. Yeet. From Facebook. Hello.
Yes.
I saw that. I know Triple H is watching.
Yes, this is probably Triple H's burner.
Tony Khan's watching, so
yes,
we got it.
Tony Khan is watching, of course. So yeah, so it does mean that it's a bit more disappointing, because you just sat through a 6-hour pay-per-view And it was for that. This is the equivalent of I shaved for this. This is that's it. That's it. I shaved for this and I'm more dry than sand. So this yes, so the Bucks, come on, it's almost 4 years now. Come on.
I know, I understand. It's just like, I
Um,
was.
I know. I get it. So the Young Bucks said that this was sort of a peace offering to the Death Riders, because the Death Riders did what the Elite could never do. I love you too, Peggy, sweetie. So Young Bucks wanted to take over AEW, but they couldn't, and then the Death Riders did. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. And then right as I was so bored when I was watching this segment, and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching the Young Bucks and I'm bored. Seriously. And this is really hard for me to say this. Again, I love the Young Bucks. And then Kenny Omega's theme hit, and I was like, oh, an audible awe. And I'm like, oh, there you go. And then he said that he shared a story from his past about, a lot of dookies being dropped on the carpet. And I'm like, that's so funny, man. That's so I love Kenny. And then he was like, yeah, you did a lot of shit when I was gone. And then he was like, I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to kick your arse. And then out came Okada. Yes.
Which are obviously setting up for All In, I think.
Of course, yeah. This is more.
Of course, it's still early. They could be doing Double or Nothing, but I think
no, they're not.
You have to save this for All In. If anything, do a tag match.
They can do Swerve, Hangman, and Kenny versus the Young Bucks and Okada. They can do that. I just take all my money for that. That's so cool. All the money just so Hangman and Kenny could tag again. Seriously. And then cool. Yeah, Swerve came out, the Elite ran away, and then Kenny and Swerve did a fist bump. That's cool. But like all of this was so stupid, man. All of it was incredibly stupid, besides one thing and one thing only. I love everything that Hangman is a part of. Everything. So he barged into Swerve's dressing room and he saw Nana, and he was there, and he said, I want you to tell Swerve that I didn't do what I did on Sunday because I wanted to help him. And he was like, I'm starting the Owen next week, so on next week's Dynamite he's gonna have his match against the wild card, and said, I don't want Swerve to get in my way, just to make things clear. And then Nana wanted to apologize from the breaking and entering thing that started this entire thing with him and Swerve. And Hangman was like, you don't get to apologize.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to do that. That's so fucking good, man. That is AEW is Hangman. That's it. Hangman is this entire company, the most over character that company has. This is so good, and you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that you're not enjoying everything that Hangman that Hangman's been doing. I'm so incredibly in love with that. So incredibly in love. But other than that, listen, Dynasty was a fine pay-per-view, okay? It was fine. But like that finish was so bad, man. I wanted to ask you something because we talked about the three-way between Omega, Speedball, and Ricochet having the potential to be, the great, three-way match that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
This absolutely delivers for me, and I'm so in love with this triple threat, and I feel like it's up there with the one from TNA with AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. Um, what did you think of that? I viewed it because I love that triple threat, and I kind of feel like Ricochet shined in that match, and we had an excellent showing for Speedball. If people weren't familiar with him from Impact / TNA before, and Kenny Omega is just gonna Kenny Omega. But what did you think of the three way?
Yeah. The match was fantastic. It was really good. I also thought like Ricochet like was great, but I also think Bailey had a good coming out party too for a lot of fans that um, maybe not have watched him on Dynamite, because I have friends that don't watch Dynamite; they just watch the pay per views, and they were really impressed with him. So I like that. He it was just an overall great match. Like it was very good. This I enjoyed this whole card. One of my favorite matches was Tony Storm and Megan Bayne. I thought that was great. I thought Megan Bayne might actually win, and I mean that's how good the storytelling was in the actual match. So
Yeah, but like she lost against her small package. So
yeah, well sometimes you win against a small package, sometimes you lose against a small package.
yes,
But the thing is what you need to realize, Maggie, is there's sperm right there. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're like, what? There. So
yeah, that's what Kate was referencing in
yeah,
in the comments. So
yeah.
we can
Kevin
have
Owens.
a sperm thing.
Yeah. Kevin
Like
Owens made a comment. Was it Chris Van Vliet where he said that too, or was it? It might. I can't remember.
I don't think it was
But
Chris.
basically, he was watching. He was at WrestleMania watching, and basically, he just said that Randy looked like he was just walking with a giant sperm instead of like the snake, and yeah. So you know, good on Randy. He's a good sport. Took it right off the chin and swallowed his pride. So
Stop it! No,
yes, sir.
stop it,
Uh,
Robert.
yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned that Randy Orton was absolutely 100% aware that he was
Oh,
gonna walk
thank you,
down the aisle.
Robbie Fox at Barstool. Robbie's awesome
Yes,
too. So,
yes,
and I should have remembered. I watch it, but you know me and my short term memory. It's out.
yes. Yeah, so basically, Randy Orton walked down the aisle with a sperm. So that's everyone's dream, I
Yeah,
suppose. But man, I love Kevin Owens. We're going to talk about Kevin Owens later. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, so Osprey and Kevin Knight again. Amazing match. I mean, the match was absolutely everything that we all thought that it was going to be. Uh,
yeah. And that was another one. Like I watched it with a couple of friends of mine, and they've never seen Kevin Knight wrestle, so that was pretty cool. Just to see their reaction, because I told them like, you guys are gonna like this guy. He's good. He's fun to watch. He's fast, and he's good. Like he reminds me of Will Ospreay and um, Kyle Fletcher and Ricochet and like to an extent Mike Bailey. Like he has like this just physique and these moves that just he's going to be a star. I know that.
um, I cannot wait for Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher to mix it in because it's gonna be something amazing to watch. And our friend Soupy in the chat is absolutely correct. Briscoe and Fletcher had no right to slap that hard. It's
Yeah,
because this flat out this was the match that I was least looking forward to because I'm not invested in in a match between the two, but like they knocked it out of the park.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening to us talking about the show was fine. The finish sucked. A bag of dicks, a huge bag of dicks.
Oh Jesus!
You know,
It took me a second to
the dick riders, like Samoa Joe called them, the dick riders.
Good God.
Yes.
So
So
well,
yeah, the ops made a challenge for the Death Riders for the Trios Championships. I suppose. Um, I hope that they win and actually do something with the Trios Championships. Like,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Big dick rider.
God.
Yes, okay, thank you for that.
Hey, that. Thank you to In the Weeds for that. They're the ones that loaded that. No,
So once
no.
again, we need to praise Joe Pearl. Fuck that.
Or Jeremy. One of the two did it.
Or Jeremy. Yes, we love Jeremy. We love
Jeremy
Joel too.
Lambert.
We just.
Jeremy Lambert. No
Yes.
relation to Christopher Lambert.
Like none whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, FTR turned on Adam Copeland.
Turned heel, yeah.
Yes. The big old shadow machine, and then Cash 2 concertos to Copeland, and then they left with the neck brace.
Hey, you know what I like about that?
Yeah.
You know what I liked about that the concertos? It's like their buddy from the FTR KO days. How did Randy Orton take Edge out?
Oh my god.
I just liked it. I don't think it was like planned by any means, but I liked it.
Oh my god. Randy Orton in the Revival.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It just made me think back about that. I just
Well, I didn't remember that whatsoever. So like kudos to you for remembering that. It just aims at the fact that Christian and Edge are gonna have a match.
they might have I forgot if it is.
Yes.
He,
yes.
He where did it go? Bonkers asked if Pac was injured, serious or not. It's definitely serious because they're doing an MRI on it. I think they did the MRI already, but hopefully he's going to be good to go. Not too long. I hope. It always sucks when any wrestler gets hurt, but yeah, hopefully he's back soon. Yes. We're good. Thank you, Maggie Sajak.
Another Maggie. Hi.
Maggie Sajak. That's Pat Sajak's daughter, I think, from Wheel of Fortune. We just get the celebs, man.
No doubt that that's her.
Yep.
Zero doubt.
Never know.
So while we're on the subject of wrestlers being injured, do you want to?
Yeah, we might as well. Last Friday,
yes.
Kevin Owens came out and announced that he was injured and he would be missing WrestleMania, which, oh man, that was heartbreaking because Maggie and I both love and adore Kevin Owens. And there's so many people that love that man, like just appreciate him, and he's so damn good at what he does, and it sucks. I mean, like I said, with Pac, when you lose a wrestler that you just absolutely love to watch, and it's a serious injury, and we honestly don't know how long he'll be out, because every injury is different. Like, I mean, this, I'm hoping it's a short-term thing, obviously. But we don't know yet, and it sucks because Kevin, he always makes TV more interesting.
Always.
Like there's two people in wrestling. No matter who they team up with, I always know that there's a potential they will turn heel on them. It's Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They're the two. Like every time, it doesn't matter. Like I can see a heel turn or them turning face on somebody. Like that's just shows how damn good they are at what they do. And the fact that we might not have Kevin for a while, it saddens me because he's so damn good at what he does, and he's so real. Like he just seems. He feels like the most authentic in wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he feels like it between him and Samoa Joe, they just feel like regular people that you would know. And that's what I like about Kevin Owens, and it sucks. Like I was really down because I knew that the report was that he was injured, but I didn't know it was like a serious injury, like I was.
Yeah, we talked about it on our show last week before SmackDown.
Yeah,
because the news was already out there.
Yeah, and it sucks, and I know that we're not the only ones out there, and we just hope for a speedy recovery and that he comes back healthy and ready to go if that's what it is. But yeah, it definitely is a bummer. And I can't wait for him to get back. We already, like I said on the thumbnail, we already miss him. So, Kevin, I know you're watching right now. So
sure.
We can't wait for you to come back. We get everybody to watch. I mean,
yeah, like, I know. We're popular.
Yeah, we're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so you were quite thorough. Sharing, all your thoughts about Kevin. And here's the stupid thing. My dumb wrestling brain, while I was watching SmackDown last week before work, and he was out there, and he was like, "I'm injured" and everything, and my stupid wrestling brain was like, "This is a rib." Randy Orton is gonna come out and he's gonna kick his ass and everything, and then he did, and then I saw that he was wearing, a pink sweat, a
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart hoodie, and underneath the hoodie he had a Finn Balor t-shirt, and he would never do that in kayfabe. He would always wear his own, stuff.
Like sometimes, like I remember he would wear like Dusty Rhodes shirt when he was.
If he was the face.
Yeah. Well, no, he wore Dusty's shirt when he was a heel too, though.
When he was feuding with Cody.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I was like, well, hold on, that's a.
Yeah, he had a Stardust shirt too.
Yeah.
So.
And then Randy Orton came out, and then Kevin Owens just moved past him, and I'm like, oh shit, this is for real. And again, this is the stupid wrestling brain in me. If we didn't have all the segments with Mark Henry, and then with all the others, and I'm like, just please don't make fun of really. Well, not make fun of, but like, don't make this into a storyline, because it really hurts when it does. And then Nick Aldis told Randy Orton that his WrestleMania future is in the air, and then Randy Orton RKO'd him, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So you want to know what's interesting about that is when that's the second time that he's RKO'd Nick
Aldis. I know.
But
so
when he got fined. He got fined $50,000, but he gave more, and he said that's for next time.
Okay, did you yourself remember that?
No, I saw somebody. That one I saw somebody else say.
Yeah, because I would have been hella impressed if you.
No, not that. I'm not that good, but yeah. Clown says he wore a Naomi shirt when he was feuding with the Usos.
There you go. He's so good, man. the reason why I personally adore Kevin Owens, first of all, he's incredibly wholesome. He had a day out. I don't remember who he was having a walk with, but like they were walking around, a certain European city, and he was like, "Oh, look, a swan."
Yeah, I think he was with Kathy Kelly.
I don't know. Oh, look, a swan.
Yeah,
Who
which
does that? And like he was the one person who nonstop all the time filled in logic gaps in WWE storytelling, which we desperately needed. And that is why everyone could fall easily in love with Kevin Owens, because thank you for explaining things that make no sense. But like he does that, mental gymnastics thing, and then all of a sudden everything makes sense to you. And I feel stupid for not thinking that, myself. Um,
so I was just going to add on to the Kathy Kelly thing. So like on Monday, I was at Raw at the Target Center in Minneapolis, and I got up to go. So Steven Jensen, our friend from the Spotlight and the Weekender,
and the Weekender.
he asked me if I could try to get some merchandise possibly for him, like depending on what they had. So I went during like a commercial break. And when I left, they were getting, I don't know if you watch the international version. I assume you do. I don't know like when you download it or watch it when you stream Raw, which version you watch, but I don't. So did you see the Ludwig promo?
The Kaiser thing?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Basically he just said that he's looking for a WrestleMania opponent.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So, but like where they did that promo, like to get there, they walked right by me, him and Kathy Kelly. And
is he huge?
Oh, he's obviously in great shape, but Kathy Kelly in person, like I was just like, wow. I just wanted to say
really,
that.
She's really beautiful.
She's really I was just like, wow. Like and then security told me to stay away again. No, I'm kidding. They didn't. They never said that. They're like, Wilkins, you're back. No, they didn't do that.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm incredibly gutted for Kevin Owens, and the fact that I know that I'm not gonna see him on my television just breaks my heart. It just breaks me from the inside, and I feel like every week on the show, I tell everyone to make a buttload of new belts so that they could give it to Kevin Owens. And because every time he deserves the world, man, every time. And I'm so incredibly sad. So sad. And the moment he sets foot back into the WWE, he's gonna get that huge pop.
Yeah. It'll be pretty damn good when it happens. I can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see here.
So let's talk about something that sucks.
Okay, go ahead.
Tiffany and Charlotte.
Yeah. That was weird.
So yeah, okay, you start. Because what the fuck?
Well, it went off the rails like we know. Like thank you, Captain Obvious. I know is what you're thinking there. I hate that it got that personal, but I will say this: it did go like it was bad, but guess what? They got a lot more people interested in their match now.
Facts.
So, did I think it was? If you never know with wrestling, like we know what Fightful Select reported and stuff, but it's one of those things where they went at it, and Charlotte Flair, she got flustered, and you don't see that often. That crowd was all over her. Chicago, like we know, is a whole different beast when it comes to crowds. And it was a tough one for her. And I I do think that Tiffany was out of line, but it's one of those things where I thought Charlotte was out of line for what she said about Ludwig and her DMs. There was a tweet that somebody had the next day, or maybe it was that same night, that Ludwig's the first person that's ever been accused of cheating, and we all know he didn't.
He didn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't help but laugh at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things. It could have been. It could have been better. But they got people interested, and I think that's what matters now to them.
Yes. So you put it perfectly. I think this was incredibly poorly handled. And that's putting it mildly. So you're absolutely right. Charlotte really rarely does the crowd get one up on her. But I view it as her having a hard time dealing with all the things that she's been dealing with recently. And maybe all of this is getting to her. This is just me. I do not know the woman. And I would have no way of knowing whatever she's going through. Um, so she was on that live TV show, correct? Is it live? Was it
Yeah,
live?
yeah.
Okay,
The talk show. I don't believe it
talk
was
show.
live. I don't believe it. Well, hell, now I don't know
I
if
don't
it was.
know.
I
Okay,
doubt it was
okay.
live, but either way.
Okay, so the talk show, and that took courage, to open herself up to talk about
Mhm.
that. So I I don't usually point fingers, and I will not point fingers here as well, because pointing fingers is just stupid, and that's criticism without being, constructive criticism. It's It was poorly handled on both sides. First, Charlotte made fun of Tiffany's voice, which is, I'm sorry, that is, what is this, kindergarten? And then Tiffany went off script, mentioning everything that Charlotte's been dealing with. And then Charlotte fall back. So we could talk about Tiffany's inexperience when it comes to in-ring promos and stuff like that. On the other hand, we can talk about Charlotte probably being the bigger person, because she's a veteran when it comes to stuff like that. But she fired back as well. So again, poorly handled. I would suppose that from moving forward, they're going to be heavily scripted. Fightful Select reported that they both had heat backstage because of the way that this entire segment went, and Tiffany knew damn well that she was gonna get it from Charlotte, and then she immediately left the ring. Incredibly hard to watch, but you are absolutely 100% correct that it did get everyone talking about this match. And I'm looking forward to it even more now, because before that segment, the match was in my head just going to be an exciting match to watch. And now it's personal. And I know that a lot of people are gonna hate watch it just to see whether if it turns into a crash, a dumpster fire, because of real life stuff.
So, like Soupy asked in the chat, did we learn who got off script first? Yeah, Fightful Select reported
It
that
was Charlotte.
it was Charlotte Flair that went off script first. So
Yeah, when she made fun of Tiffany's voice.
Yep.
which was at itself really, this didn't sound like Charlotte, because like I know she always gets one up on people on the microphone, but like that's what she does. But it was really weird for her to say that. And
Yeah.
on Tiffany's turf, um, you do not bring up so much personal things in promos without the consent of the other person, and having in mind that another colleague of Tiffany is involved in this
Yeah.
thing, and it's Andrade, and she didn't talk to him neither. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that
And
is,
I do.
we have no idea of knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do hope that, I mean, they're all adults, so I mean, it's easy for me to just say, but
We would
I do
only
hope that
assume.
she like brought like maybe she apologized. I don't know, like to him. I know that's what I would do, but I mean, yeah, no. Well, yeah, Kotlag said it after us if that's the case, but yeah, we reported it. But yeah, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns had
Why are
a
people
hell.
not liking this?
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I
I'm
liked it.
enjoying the crap out of this entire thing, and people are bitching about this online. And I'm like, what? What?
I didn't know
What
people
is?
bitched online. Is this a new thing?
No.
Okay.
So, from the last time that we were on the show, Paul Heyman told Punk that he belongs in the main event of WrestleMania. He desperately wanted to know what the favor was. Uh, so, because he was scared of Roman, and we were made aware that he was the one who begged CM Punk to back them up at War Games. Seth came out and he was like, I'm not gonna miss this for the world." And um, when Roman arrived at the venue, he just made a complete beeline towards the ring, passing through Paul Heyman, not even looking at him. He said that the only reason Punk was in the main event of WrestleMania was him
Yeah.
himself.
Well,
And Seth came to the ring, and he said that um, Punk did what he did at War Games because he wanted a favor, and everything that Seth Rollins was doing was to change the industry. So Punk said that it was about friendship and loyalty, and at WrestleMania he wanted Roman to force Roman to deal with us. And by us, he meant Paul Heyman and him, because he wanted Paul Heyman to back him up at WrestleMania, to be in his corner. And then Roman Reigns started laughing. He was like, even if I would let him, he wouldn't want to. Come on, let him down easy.
yeah.
And then Paul
I,
Heyman didn't.
I can't, my tribal
I
chief.
I
Yeah.
killed my tribal chief, and then Punk gave him the GTS. But the thing that happened on this week's Raw was that Heyman came out and said that he will always be faithful to his tribal chief and his best friend. So then Seth came out. I swear to God, Seth is so good in this entire thing. Everyone's talking about Punk and Roman, and I cannot stop looking at Seth. He's so good. And he was like, "Whose side are you on?" He told Heyman that Roman Reigns doesn't care about him, and that he doesn't respect him. That Roman Reigns left after WrestleMania and left Paul Heyman to be power bombed on the announce table, and
You made
then
good points.
tell him when he's telling lies.
Oh, that was good. That was a
Tell
good
him when
one.
he's telling lies. That was so good. And then he mentioned so Punk rescued him, but after he left for years and years, and then he came back to, to back him up at War Games again, just for a favor. He helped Roman and Paul Heyman just so he can get a favor out of Paul Heyman. So he did mention that Seth Rollins himself was the first person to get asked for War Games, and Punk was the last one. That's also incredibly interesting. So he just wanted to remove Paul Heyman from the situation. And he was like, how much are you worth? And then he started shoving him. And then CM Punk came out and, tried to rescue Paul Heyman. And I was like, where were you this entire time?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can Paul Heyman look Punk in the eye, call him his best friend, while Punk, Jeff Hardy came down to the ring to rescue his brother with more urgency than Punk came out to rescue Paul Heyman. So,
Yeah, that would have been great if CM Punk would have done that in the ring, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. So what happened was that Seth Rollins and Punk brawled a bit, and so Seth Rollins curb stomped Punk, and then he went to curb stomp Paul Heyman, but he stopped himself, and then he said, "Now you owe me a favor."
Yeah. I loved it. Yeah, that was good. That's what we call good shit, pal.
With each and every passing week, I get a reassurance that Seth Rollins is winning this triple threat. I mean, he's the only one that absolutely needs to win this triple threat.
Do you think, I've seen it in our chat, like a couple of people say it, do you think Seth Rollins leaves with Paul Heyman?
It's gonna be a really intriguing storyline, but I don't know if he needs Paul Heyman.
He doesn't need Paul Heyman.
Because there are people on that roster that absolutely need Paul Heyman. Braun Breaker is one of them. But Seth Rollins doesn't need Paul Heyman. But it's gonna be incredibly intriguing if they make something out of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really, really interesting if they do.
Yeah. So, well, as we know, next week we have a lot of we have a lot of predictions to do. We'll have NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll have WrestleMania.
We'll have
WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So, lots to do, lots to preview there. But just going to do a quick rundown of the card here that's been announced. They did announce the War Raiders defending their titles against the New Day this afternoon. But we also have Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, Jade Cargill versus Naomi, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, the United States Championship, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, the Intercontinental Champion 4-way match, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker. You have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. You have the WWE's Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then the Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Triple threat match. You have Cody Rhodes versus The Undertaker. I think they also announced the Street Profits today, but maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe.
What was that about The Undertaker?
Did I say The Undertaker?
Yes.
What did I say The Undertaker?
I don't know. I just heard The Undertaker, and I'm like, that he's not on the card.
I don't know where I said The Undertaker. I don't know why I would have said The Undertaker. Why the hell would I say The Undertaker? Anyways, he'll be in town. He'll be doing one of his shows. Did I say The Undertaker, people?
You did say The Undertaker.
Please let me know what I said before. Why the hell did I say The Undertaker? Maybe he's wrestling Giant Gonzalez again at like he did WrestleMania 9. Well, now, actually, that would be impressive because unfortunately, Giant Gonzalez is no longer with us. Um, so, but if anybody could bring him back, it'd be the Dead Man. Anyways,
I
um,
swear to God,
Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. So maybe I did say
bisexual
Undertaker.
Undertaker. That
Maybe I
is
did say it. I don't know. I
Um,
don't think.
I swear to God, if Logan Paul beats AJ Styles,
Oh my god! I'm gonna lose my shit, pal.
I'm just gonna be so fucking furious, man. And everything points at this exact finish. By the way, that Logan Paul is in fact gonna be at AJ Styles, and I'm just Rob and I are gonna be having a rough time on our show after WrestleMania. Just we're gonna need you guys a lot if this ends up being, the case. No, man.
Yeah.
Tune in next week because we are going to be talking about NXT. We rarely get to talk about NXT, and I'm going to rant a lot.
Yeah. So guys, our well, Maggie, I'll let you do the preview.
The Cooper Effect presentation. Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, this is going to be a special video for a really, really wonderful friend from a friend of our awesome doc Chris Mueller, because he often send me videos of this extremely, extremely wonderful, beautiful cat that you're about to see. Her name is Beatrix, and I kept telling him this is probably the most beautiful cat I've ever seen. And then he shared the story that Beatrix had with her wonderful owner. And now we're gonna, present you guys with a video of the story, of course, narrated by our lovely Chris, the voice of God. Yes, I really wanted for us to talk about, this amazing story because it just goes to show you every time Chris does something, it just he reminds us that, sometimes people are wonderful, and every day that a horrible, horrible human being is being an ass to you, just remember that people like Chris exist out there in the universe, and people like his friend also exist. So, Rob,
Yeah.
just if you
And just so you know, like this video is about 5 minutes, so basically we will come back and do our plugs and in the show. But
enjoy a beautiful cat for 5 minutes. That's
yeah,
what yes, that's what we meant.
yeah. So we'll get started. Here we go.
Law school for 2 years, and when we had to part ways, I felt like it was time for me to get a cat, which I've been since Chloe is likely in court today defending somebody. I'm going to tell you Beatrix's story in Chloe's words. So here we go. I lived with my best friend in law school for 2 years, and when we had to part ways, I felt like it was time for me to get a cat, which I've been dreaming of doing for a while. Right before my third year of law school, I was on Pet Finder and I saw a cat that seemed like a good fit for me. It turns out he had just been adopted. The shelter asked me some questions about myself anyway, to see if they had any other cats that would be a good fit. It turns out the cat I asked about had a sister, and they hadn't listed her on the website because they were concerned that she was too closed off to be adopted. She and her brother, I think, maybe one or two other siblings, although I'm not sure what happened to them, were found in a dumpster and brought to the shelter. After a little while, they went to a foster home with several other cats. She was having a very hard time coming out of her shell. The person I spoke to from the shelter told me that she was just extremely shy and didn't like to have any contact with people and preferred to hang out with senior cats in the foster home. They were reluctant to list her for adoption because I guess in the past they had had people try to rehome cats if they weren't as friendly as they expected them to be. But she said she wanted to mention it to me because my living situation sounded like it might be good for her. After a pretty thorough interview and an application, they agreed to let me adopt her. They still warned me that I might have to go so far as to restrict food to get her to bond with me, which, trust me, I never planned on doing. And thankfully, we never had to do that. It's funny because when I start to think about getting a cat, I told my brother I didn't really have any specifics in mind. I just didn't want a white cat because I have so many black clothes. And of course, when they sent me a picture of this cat, she was all white with a few patches on her face and her tail, but she was adorable, and I couldn't say no after hearing her story. I went to go pick her up at the shelter, and her name was Taylor. Since she was still pretty young, I asked them to change it to Beatrix on her paperwork after one of my favorite illustrators, Beatrix Potter. She looked absolutely terrified, and the first few days in my apartment, it seemed like the shelter was going to be right. I set Beatrix up in her own little room with all the essentials, including a fuzzy little bed, and for the first 3 days that I had her, she hid under the bed 24/7 and came out to eat and use the litter box when I was asleep or in class. I would sit just outside the room or inside near the door and just read or do homework. On the third day, I lifted her bed up and tried to give her a treat, and she did the most afraid, pathetic little hiss. To this day, it's the only time she's ever hissed at me, which I think shows just how scared she was. But on the fourth day, I was away from home a little bit, and when I got home, I sat in the room just playing on my phone, and I'll never forget looking up and seeing her slowly wiggle out from under the bed. I basically just sat there all night long, and slowly but surely, she came closer. I tried to pet her, and she let me, and she just kept opening up more and more after that. It still took her a little while to reach different milestones, but in the span of a week, she came so far out of her shell, and in a month, she was basically a completely different cat. Her favorite toy still is the first one I ever got her, which is a little orange plushie. She absolutely loves to play fetch with it, although she loves to play fetch with anything. She's kind of afraid of heights, and she still doesn't like to be picked up, but she loves water and being brushed, and she's probably the most cuddly cat I have ever met. I would say her other most favorite thing to do is sit in the windowsill and watch the birds, or stand on my chest first thing in the morning when I wake up and make biscuits on her quilt. She has sophisticated taste in treats, her favorite being belly ham, which she gets very sparingly. I've had her for a little over a year and a half, and we have both changed a lot. She's been with me for graduating law school, passing the bar, and getting my first job as an attorney, moving, and all of that. I could not have done it without her. We were absolutely meant to spend our lives together, and besides completely coming out of her shell, surprise, she's actually a full brown calico.
What is it? Beatrix? What are you talking about? Tell me what's wrong. Oh.
Oh, that was cool. That was good. So that was good. Thank you, Chris, for that. That was awesome. And man, just shows how good animals are. But yeah.
Yeah, so watching a really fluffy kitty on a video being narrated by Chris is probably, the highlight of my day. So thank you so much for this incredibly, incredibly cool story. I hope that there are, other people uh, like just adopt and save animals. Just don't buy. Okay, don't spend money on things that you can save and adopt. Just don't do that.
Yes. Please. Please, please, please adopt.
Yes,
Please. But Maggie, plug your stuff.
guys. You can follow me on Zeal Twixter or Twitter or X or whatever you guys want to call it at Maggie_IK. You can follow me also on Instagram at Maggie.ik and on Blue Sky at Maggie-IK. I'll be on the True Heel Heat channel next Thursday for WrestleMania predictions. 3 hours. No, I'm kidding. It's not going to be a 3-hour show, I hope.
It'll be 4.
Yeah, like FP3 and I tend to rant a lot, and it's WrestleMania, so it's a double rant. I can't wait. You can join us then. Please leave a like on the video. It helps us out a lot. And after you've done watching the video, please leave a comment below. It helps us out a lot with the algorithm. It helps people find us, and by God, people need to find us. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe to Fightful Select. Support all the shows on Fightful Overbook. We have wonderful shows. We have Spotlight. We have Wrestling Made Me Cry. We have In the Weeds.
Yeah. So lots to watch, and
A lot of stuff to watch. Rob?
guys, follow me at Rob Wilkins on X. I'm also on Instagram at Fightful Rob and on Threads at Fightful Rob. We will see you again here next week for a full day of predictions for WrestleMania, NXT Stand and Deliver, and who knows what else we'll be covering. I know I'll want to talk about GCW Bloodsport for sure. I need to see what time that airs because I know I want to watch that. So I hope that doesn't go on at the same time as our show, which it might, because that's usually, I don't know. Now I'm curious. Okay. We'll have to figure that out. But guys, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in, and we really do appreciate you every week that you do this. That because of you guys and you spending that time with us, we know you're making the sacrifice. Yeah. Yep. I got it still. Guys, take it easy. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. You can check out all our previous episodes on your favorite podcast platforms or youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked.